Okay, here we are looking at Sketch Toolbox, and what Sketch Toolbox is it lets you easily manage and install your plugins for Sketch App 3. Otherwise, sometimes it's a little bit laborious installing and uninstalling plugins for Sketch. So you will need to go to sketchtoolbox.com and download. I think it's in beta, so there might be updates in future. It's free software, so you download it. Now, once you've downloaded it and then installed it, and I've got it here, you'll have a window will appear, or a panel. It probably have a number of sort of popular ones listed that are all that you can search for, or you can search within it. Now, what I will do is I have Sketch open as well, and I'll just show you where they're stored. If you go to plugins, these are plugins that have been installed. So there's a number of plugins I brought in, and you can find out about plugins by just searching the internet and finding out what's popular Sketch 3 plugins and seeing what they do. Now, I have one here, which is the top of here, which is the iconizer, and that makes multiple icons for projects such as Xcode, or if you're doing development, it saves them all the right sizes for screen densities and names them appropriately. Now, how you would install it is you would just click on there, it will download it and install it. So if I now went back to Sketch and I went up here, you'll see it will appear. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Another useful one is the content generator Sketch plugin, which is really useful. Also, it has a number of other ones I've got in here. Marvel app for if you're doing prototyping. There's one for Git. So there's lots of different ones that you can use. And usually the good thing about the toolbox is you can come along and maybe click on here and it gives you a link. Many of these things are on GitHub, so it gives you an explanation of what they do, so you can find out extra information, or you can go to the site. So if I click on there again, it takes me to a GitHub page, and again it's got a readme file and lets you know what that does, so you can find out what it does before you install it. Right, so it's a good companion that you can use with Sketch, and you open it up, it's like a standalone, but then it installs in Sketch. Also, you can uninstall and go back there if you don't want that plugin anymore. Now we'll look at a few how they work, and I think we'll use the iconizer first to give you an idea of how that works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just create a sort of an icon and get it to duplicate. So first of all, I'll get an artboard. So I go down and create an artboard. Now what I want to do is to create an icon size. So over here it's got Mac icons. I'll just do it 512 pixels, 512 pixels. I'm just going to design something on here. This is what you probably would do. I'll just put a star on there. So I'm going to hover the mouse over the center of the page, and once I get dead center, it gives me some guides automatically to let me know I am dead center. I'll hold Alt and Shift, and that will constrain the proportions and start from the center, and I'll drag out, and I've just got a little star on it. Once I've done that, I'll just turn off the border and I'll just fill it a color, make it blue. Now you can design it any way you want on that. Now once I've done that, I'm going to go to some plugins, and I'm going to go to the iconizer and go over from the flyout and click on it. Now once I've done that, it will create lots of other artboards. Here's the original. So if I come back here and say, oh, I'll make it red, and then once I've made it red, I go back to the iconizer and I click there again, it'll change them all and make them all red. So it's not the case you've got to do it again. Now that's the original, and these are all the ones that have been created, all the different sizes, and also they're appropriately named for if you're going to bring them into a development project, say in something like Xcode or in development. Okay, so that's done, and when you want to export them, all you do is go File, you go down to Export, and they will all appear here, all the different sizes. So you would say, you can export all, or you can turn off the ones you want, and what you don't want, so that's up to you. Then I click on Export. I come along to the desktop. What I would do is create a new folder. I would say icons, and I click create, and I click export. Now once that's done, I'll just go and check the icons. I open up my folder, and here, I'll just close this down. Here they all are inside there, all the different sizes. So we've got the largest coming up there, and then you've got obviously all the other sizes on there. So that's a really useful tool for creating icons at different sizes for projects, especially to do with development projects. Now I'll just close this down, and we will look at some other plugins. So file new, again I'll get a artboard. This time I'll go 5.6, so I've got an artboard on there. Now say for example we're going to do the content, so I will just create some content here. So I'll just do, if you're doing something like a message app, you might be having people's faces in these round circles, which is common design now. So once I've got the oval tool, I hold Alt and Shift and drag out, and that will create the perfect circle there. Once I've got that, I can then duplicate it by Alt dragging, and I can drag it out, and it'll give the measurements. I'm keeping these all 32 gaps, so I've got 4 of them. I shift click them all, and once I've done that, I go up to the plugins, I go to Content Generator Sketch plugin, and then I can go down to persona, photos, you can go mail, and what it will do is bring in those faces. With it still selected, I could go back again and go to here and select female, and that will change that. Okay, so once you've done that, the next thing I will do is go up and maybe get some names on there. So I could come along and say, get some text. I click here for text. I'll just change that font, it's not so good. There we go. Then I'll change the font size on here, take it down to something more appropriate. Right, I've got that on there. Once I've got that, using Sketch, you have to click away, and what I'll do is, again, I'll Alt drag all these. It'll let me know when I've got them centered, and once I've got that, I will shift click and then go to the plugins, go to the content generator, go to persona, names, and you can do female names, and it will change them. Okay, now there is also in Craft will also let you do this as well. So some of the plugins certainly do similar things. So that is quite useful that you can do that. I can just select one image now, and I could go back maybe to the generator. I can go persona, photos, and I go maybe male, and that would change it. There's these ones which I think just does ordinary objects, persona, photos, neutral, will give, you know, different sorts of things that it brings in from the internet. The other one you can do, go to plugins, content, we'll go to images, and let's say Flickr keywords. So I could go face, and this looks on Flickr for Creative Commons license images, and then we have a face, and you could go back and, you know, keep on just changing those things if you want. So that's you know, quite useful. Plugins, it does lots of different things and lots of different tasks, but certainly a good one is certainly the content generator, although some of these are actually done by the Craft panels app from InVision.